Okay, so forget everything you think you know about vampires. Seriously. Richard Matheson's 1954 classic, I Am Legend, isn't just another horror story. Nope. This is the book that completely flipped the genre on its head. It took all that ancient superstition, put it under a scientific microscope, and in the process, changed the Last Man on Earth story forever. It's a question we've all thought about, right? But Matheson adds this terrifying little twist. See, you're not just alone, you're the only one, and you are completely, totally surrounded. So welcome to the world of Robert Neville, where just staying alive is a grim daily fight. You might think the life of the last man on Earth would be some grand adventure. Well, it's not. It's a brutal, monotonous cycle of just work. And for Robert Neville, this routine is the only thing standing between him and, well, them. His days are just this soul-crushing loop. Board up the windows, sharpen the stakes, string more garlic. These aren't heroic acts. This is just grim maintenance. And the worst part? Oh, the worst part is getting rid of the bodies they leave on his lawn every single morning. It's this constant, horrifying chore designed to grind a man down to absolutely nothing. Neville's whole existence is basically split right down the middle. During the day, he's the hunter. He's out there scavenging for supplies, making repairs, and, killing the vampires while they sleep. But as soon as that sun goes down, the roles are reversed. He becomes the hunted. His home turns into a fortress under siege, and all night he hears the taunting cry of his undead neighbor, Ben Cortman, just screaming, "Come out, Neville!" And this quote right here, it just nails the true cost of his life. Normalcy is gone, completely eroded. I mean, think about it. Why dust the furniture? Why bother washing the dishes? When your only goal is to make it to the next sunrise, all those little things that make life feel civilized, they just become meaningless. It's stripping away the man he once was, piece by painful piece. The physical siege on his house is one thing, but the real war, the one that truly matters, is being fought inside his own head. Loneliness, memory, desire, these turn out to be way more dangerous than any creatures scratching at his door. 5 months. Just try to imagine that. The silence is just deafening. He's blasting classical music, burying his nose in old science textbooks, basically anything to drown out the howls from outside. But it's not enough. The isolation is like a physical presence, and it is twisting his mind. And this is where the vampire's torture gets really, really cruel. It's psychological. They know he's alone. The women especially, they prey on that isolation, on his most basic human needs. It's a calculated, vicious torment that hits him harder than any physical attack ever could. And in this world, even the tiniest little mistake can be catastrophic. One afternoon, he's out scavenging, and he forgets to do one simple, critical thing: wind his watch. He completely loses track of the time. By the time he realizes the sun is setting, it's already too late. What follows is just this frantic, desperate race against the dark, him tearing down empty streets in his station wagon. He screeches onto his street, only to find his absolute worst fear has come true. They're not just wandering around. No, they're waiting for him. It's an ambush. He literally has to plow through them, fight Cortman hand to hand, and he barely makes it inside. The message couldn't be clearer. Out here, one simple mistake gets you killed. So to really understand why Neville keeps fighting, why he endures all this, we have to look back. Because the ghost that truly haunts him isn't one of the creatures on his lawn. It's a memory from before any of this even started. So before the world completely ended, it got sick. A plague carried by dust storms and mosquitoes, it just swept across the globe. His wife, Virginia, she caught it and she died. The law was absolute. To stop the spread, all bodies had to be burned in these massive public pits. But Neville, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to throw the woman he loved into a fire. So in this act of pure love and defiance, he buried her himself. A few days later, there's a knock at the door. He opens it, and it's Virginia. She's come back from the grave. His one act of defiant love brought the monster right to his doorstep. That is the memory that fuels his war. For months, Neville is just running on pure rage and grief, killing without even thinking about it. But then, slowly, something starts to shift. The endless, brutal cycle of survival starts to give way to something else: curiosity. The survivor is about to become an investigator. He's visiting Virginia's empty crypt, and he makes this huge discovery:
A dead vampire, but with no stake wound. And suddenly, all the pieces just click into place. He always knew they hid from the daylight, but now he gets it. It was the sunlight itself that killed it. And in that one moment of clarity, his entire mission changes.
All of a sudden, his mind is just on fire with questions. This can't be magic. It just can't be. There has to be a scientific reason for all of it. Why garlic? Why do stakes to the heart work? Why are they so afraid of crosses? He realizes all the old legends, they have to be just distorted versions of some single biological truth. So he completely rejects the world of superstition. He turns his back on Dracula, on folklore, and instead, he embraces the scientific method. He actually finds a microscope at an abandoned library and begins his own research. His goal isn't just to kill them anymore, it's to understand them. He's convinced it's not a curse, it's a bacterium, and he is going to prove it.
And this quest for knowledge, this search for a rational explanation in a world gone completely insane, this is the true beginning of his story. This is where Robert Neville starts to become a legend. See, Neville's legend isn't about being some muscle-bound monster hunter with a mallet. No. He is the last scientist on Earth, all alone in his fortified house, fighting a global pandemic with nothing but books and a microscope. He's fighting not just for his own life, but for the very idea of reason itself. When faced with something it couldn't explain, humanity didn't turn to science for answers. It fell back on its oldest fears. The legend became reality before reason even had a chance to step in. And in that world, Neville isn't some hero. He's more like the last, desperate immune response of a planet that's already dead. And that leaves us with the novel's most profound, most haunting question. When you're the last of your kind, a lone man hunting a planet of creatures who have built their own society in the ruins of yours, are you still the hero? Or are you the monster they tell their children stories about at night? In a world full of monsters, who exactly gets to decide what's normal